I've played it once and I didn't really see any ghosts. I think I saw maybe one. But I was like, what is the point of this game? And then I watched the YouTube video and there's like several ghosts throughout the mountain that you want to spot, the shadow ghosts. And it's just basically like a normal walkthrough. It's kind of terrifying because I saw some of the ghosts, but and every time you play, the story changes. And so the first time, like, I really wasn't paying attention to the story, so it's gonna be a whole new story anyway for me. But I thought, why not just jump into it and just see what could
I've lost
possibly
track
be.
of how long I've been here, and how many visits I have made overall. Certainly the landmarks are now so familiar to me that I have to remind myself to actually see the forms and shapes in front of me. I could stumble blind across these rocks, the edges of these
So I know that
precipices,
there's supposed
without
to be a
fear of missing my
ghost in
step
this
and
window.
plummeting down to sea. Besides, I've always considered that if one is to fall, it is critical to keep one's eyes firmly open.
I'm like scared. Why the fuck am I scared? When I know damn well it's just a walkthrough game. It's the music. It's like it's really loud for me, guys. Oh, it's because it's fucking blaring in my ear. Whoa. Can't hear myself. There's a boat. Do we go up or down? Any, many. Ooh, I don't know what to do. I don't know whether I should go up or down. And there's supposed to be stories like all in this. Like, this is the only speed we have too, so. But I found it really interesting, and it's like really calming, actually. And it takes about an hour to get through, so let's get this story going. Watch, I have to turn all the way back with this speed. There's no running. I wanted to walk beach this side. It's so crazy. Oh, so I go up anyway. Oh. That wind in my ear is actually really creepy.
Those islands in the distance, I am sure, are nothing more than relics of another time, sleeping giants, somnambulist gods laid down for a final dreaming. I wash the sand from my lips and grip my wrist ever more tightly. My shaking arms will not support my fading diaries.
But this wind is like pushing against me. Whoa. It's so realistic. Freaking love it. Freaking bats.
Reading Donnelly by the weak afternoon sunlight, he landed on the south side of the island, followed the path to the bay and climbed the mount. He did not find the caves, and he did not chart the north side. I think this is why his understanding of the island is flawed, incomplete. He stood on the mount and only wondered momentarily how to descend, but then he didn't have my reasons. When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boats, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this, to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh. We are not like Lot's wife, you and I. We feel no particular need to turn back. There's nothing to be seen if we did. No tired old man parting the cliffs with his arms. No gifts or Bibles laid out on the sand for the taking. No tides turning or the shrieking gulls overhead. The bones of the hermit are no longer laid out for the taking. I have stolen them away to the guts of this island, where the passages all run to black, and where we can light each other's faces by their strange luminescence.
Oh, look at that shipwreck. Ah, I'm gonna have to go through this creepy ass tunnel.
Dear Esther, I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
This shit's getting thick in my ear now. Is that the light? We couldn't have just walked through the water? Like we had to just come all the way around? This creepy ass tunnel.
I find myself increasingly unable to find that point where the hermit ends and Paul and I begin. We are woven into a sodden blanket, stuffed into the bottom of a boat to stop the leak and hold back the ocean. My neck aches from staring up at the aerial. It mirrors the dull throb in my gut where I am sure I've begun to form another stone. In my dreams, it forms into a perfect representation of Lot's wife, head over her shoulder, staring along the motorway at the approaching traffic in a vacuum of fatalistic calm.
I swear when I played this the first time, I only saw one ghost, and apparently there's like 12 to 14 ghosts on this entire island when you pass certain things. But I only recall... Okay, I fucked up somewhere. I don't think I was supposed to exit so soon. Oh, maybe I was. Okay. Small cave. Pointless to make me go in there. Okay. Follow this trail. I should have just gone up this way to begin with. But I only saw like one ghost, maybe even that. Like I saw a shadow pass by like at a house or something, and I was like, oh, what the fuck? What's that? And then coming to find out, like, that's the whole point of the game. You're just supposed to find these ghosts. And the story is different all the time. Like, there's never, like, nobody has the same story. Like, you could pick up this game tomorrow, and your story would not be the same as mine. It would be way different. And, like, I don't know. Like, already, it's different from the first time I played, because I didn't start where I started.
The vegetation here has fossilized from the roots up.
Right.
To think they once grazed animals here, the remnants of occupation being evidence to that. It is all sick to death. The water is too polluted for the fish, the sky is too thin for the birds, and the soil is cut with the bones of hermits and shepherds. I've heard it said that human ashes make great fertilizer, that we could sow a forest from all that is left of your hips and ribcage. with enough left over to thicken the air and repopulate the bay.
I think the game is pretty interesting considering you get a different story every time. It's really chill. It's really laid back. You know, you have your ghosts you gotta look for. But it's actually really boring. Like, I'm already kind of bored because there's no, like, option choice. There's no, like, running. It's just one speed the entire time. And it's, like, it's a struggle. But it's supposedly an hour long to finish. I didn't finish within an hour. It took me 2 days to finish the first game just because of how bored I was. Like, I would walk through half of it and I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a break. Like, there's no way I can finish, but we're gonna do the whole gameplay today because it's just so you guys could see, because, you know, why not? Oh. Ooh.
Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my ordnance survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services, but although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
There's supposed to be a ghost down here. On this ship, I think. We'll see. Let's get spooked. And like when I mean like ghosts, there's supposed to be like figures in the window. You kind of get the sense in the game that somebody's behind you. Look right there. Oh my god, I just got the freaking chills, bro. Y'all see that? He stopped. Bruh, I found one. That's insane. I did not notice him the first time. He's gone. I looked away. Whoa. That's such an eerie ass feeling. Fudge. Okay. I don't know where to go from here. Whoa, I could have swore. Okay, I think it's just my mind messing with me at this point, but I don't know where to go after this. Let me not go up a steep ass mountain. This just made the game more interesting. Like seeing that, and I missed that the first time. I was like pointing as if you guys could see.
I had kidney stones and you visited me in the hospital. After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk. What charnel house lies at the foot of this abyss? How many dead shepherds could fill this hole?
I wonder if I could fall in there. Okay. This is where I originally saw the ghost. And there's apparently one. Oh, you can't see it from here. But
I've begun my ascent on the windless slope of the western side. The setting sun was an inflamed eye squeezing shut against the light shone in by the doctors. My neck is aching through constantly craning my head up to track the light of the aerial. I must look downwards, follow the path under the island to a new beginning.
I'm not taking my eyes off the house because I don't want to miss it. So if you guys just look at the house. Fuck, I have to. Okay. But if you guys just look at the house, apparently it like passed through the window and I saw like the last
bothy
part
was
of it.
constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen from a lineage
Oh my God, he's
of
moving.
migratory Scandinavians. He was not
Oh my God, it was that
considered a man
black
of
thing that was
breeding
just
by the
standing there. What
mainlanders.
the fuck?
He came here every summer whilst
Oh,
building the
hell
bothy,
no.
hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years.
My hands are
after.
shaking. Like, I don't want to
to
come in this
carve
house.
white lines into
Sorry.
the cliff for him either.
I don't know if some of y'all actually want to like listen to the story and I was talking during the story. I'm sorry.
Inventory. A trestle table we spread wallpaper on in our first home. A folding chair. I laughed at you for bringing camping in the lakes. I was uncomfortable later and you laughed then. This diary. The bed with the broken springs. Once asleep you have to remember not to dream. A change of clothes. Donnelly's book stolen from Edinburgh Library on the way here.
Ah!
I will burn them all
Oh,
for the last
fuck.
evening and make an aerial of my own.
Oh, fucking bird. Didn't know there was gonna be jump scares. What is that light? I know there's a ghost up there on that tower with a blinking light. Oh my God, I just... That was some scary-ish. Freaking birds. You scared me.
In a footnote,
Oh.
the editor comments that
I wonder
at this
if I
point,
could
Donnelly was
slide,
going
if I slide or if
insane.
I die.
The syphilis tore through his system like a drunk driver. He's not to be trusted.
I'm gonna walk on the edge because I'm
Many of
dangerous.
his claims are unsubstantiated, and although he does paint a colourful picture, much of what he says may have been derived directly from his fever. But I've been here, and I know, as Donnelly did, that this place is always half imagined. Even
Oh,
the
so I
rocks and
started at the
caves will
top?
shimmer and
That's
blur
lame.
with the right eye.
Apparently I died. Apparently when you get a glimpse of his face, he's like really freaking scary. And I think you can only get a glimpse of his face towards the end.
They found Jakobsen in early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. He'd struggled halfway down the cliff path, perhaps looking for some lost goat, or perhaps in a delirium, and expired, curled into a claw right under the winter moon. Even the animals shunned his corpse. The mainlanders thought to bring it home unlucky. Donnelly claims they dragged it to the caves to thaw out and rot, but he is proving an unreliable witness. Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent. Did Jakobsen crawl this far? Can I identify the scratches his nails ruined into the rocks? Am I following him cell for cell, inch for inch? Why did he turn back on himself and not carry through to the ascent?
I keep yawning. Sorry. The noise is so scary. It's loud in my ear. Oh wow, that's pretty. That gave me the heebie-jeebies. Holy shit. Like vertigo almost. Like that really upset my stomach. There's supposed to be, I think a ghost in here somewhere, but like, I don't know where. Could you imagine walking on this? Hell nah. Shit gonna be slippery as hell. This is like a virtual Natural Bridge Caverns. Ooh, pretty. Self-tour. It's called Dear Esther, and it's the Landmark Edition. It's, I don't want to call it new, I'm not sure. But it is, a walkthrough, and it's very calming. It's very storytelling.
If the caves are my guts, this must be the place where the stones are first formed. The bacteria phosphoresce and rise, singing through the tunnels. Everything here is bound by the rise and fall, like a tide. Perhaps the whole island is actually underwater.
I'm like trying to decide where I need to go. Huh. Whoa. So pretty. Can I go up? No, I can't go up. I love this like blue that's like radiating off the mushrooms. Like
This cannot
so
be the shaft they threw the goats into. It cannot be the landfill where the parts of your life that would not burn ended up. It cannot be the chimney that delivered you to the skies. It cannot be the place where you rained back down again to fertilize the soil and make small flowers in the rocks.
Whoa, somebody lost their mind. Whoa. Keep your eyes out for ghosts, because there are apparently ghosts in this game. We've already seen 2. That's so cool how they make it seem like you're really underwater. I think I have to fall. Ah! Oh, if this is... Oh, I hated this part. I didn't know, like, what to do. I went the other way last time, so let's go this way. Crazy. Why do I feel like I just slowed down? Is it because I'm inclined now? I'm going up a mountain? Ooh. Got a little campsite here on the outside of the mountain. Music scared me a little bit, not gonna lie.
I wish I could have known Donnelly in this place. We would have had so much to debate. Did he paint these stones or did I? Who left the pots in the hut by the jetty? Who formed the museum under the sea? Who fell silently to his death into the frozen waters? Who erected this godforsaken aerial in the first place? Did this whole island rise to the surface of my stomach, forcing the gulls to take flight?
Y'all see that shadow up there? I noticed that when I had played the game the first time. That's 3. And he stays up there up until you get there too. Because I thought it was just like a cardboard cutout. Look at that.
Of fire and soil, I chose fire. It seemed the more contemporary of the options.
He just stands
the more
there.
sanitary. I could not bear the thought of the
And I know there's
reassembly of
one
such
around
a
here
world.
somewhere. I just don't know
Stitching
where.
arm to shoulder and femur to hip, charting a line of thread like traffic
I think he's-
stilled on a motorway, making it all acceptable for tearful aunts and traumatized uncles flown in specially for the occasion. Reduce to ash, mix with water, make a phosphorescent paint for these rocks and ceilings.
Can't jump. I'm shaking because he's supposed to be standing behind me. Like somewhere in the reflection of the water. I hear, like, other than the ocean, I hear, like, footsteps. A little weird. And you're supposed to be able to see the first glimpse of his face. I just don't know where. Wait, is that the candle or is that him? Oh my god, right there. That is not a candle. That is a whole ass reflection. Oh, he tall. That is a whole ass reflection. Tell me that's a candle. Y'all need to tell me right now that's a motherfucking candle. Where? Where? That's a motherfucking reflection. That is my man's. I'm gonna look away. I'm gonna look away. I'm gonna look away. I'm gonna turn around. Okay, he don't want to leave. That's a whole ass reflection of my man's. Okay, come back to it. Look, he's gone. Oh hell no. This is not what I signed up for. Just kidding. Yo. That was a whole ass reflection. And like I kind of saw it from over here, but I was like, no way. Like, no way. That's his motherfucking candle. We're not gonna fuck with his motherfucking candle. There's a lot of candles over there. I don't remember those candles. That was a big gulp. I went, oh, I'm scared. I keep hitting the run button like I'm gonna be able to run. Oh, hell no. That music ain't shit. I ain't scared. I just saw my motherfuck man's in the motherfuck shadow of a candle. Tell me something.
There were
Hell
chemical
no.
diagrams on the posters on the walls on the waiting room. It seemed appropriate at the time. Still life abstractions of the processes which had already begun to break down your nerves and your muscles in the next room. I crammed diazepam as I once crammed for chemistry examinations. I am revising my options for a long and happy life. From here, I can see my armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic, and I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink.
My man is... What? We are at the halfway point. We are at 36 minutes. I'm trying to see if this is really an hour, because, like, it's a full-ass hour. My thing is I know I'm supposed to see him at the end, and that end is over there at that light tower, and I'm scared as fuck, because, like, I don't want to see him. It's like little tiny birds, or bugs crawling around.
I will drag my leg behind me. I will drag it like a crumpled hatchback, tires blown and sparking across the dimming lights of my vision. I'm running out of painkillers and am following the flicker of the moon home. When Paul keeled over dead on the road to Damascus, they restarted his heart with the jump leads from a crumpled hatchback. It took 21 attempts to convince it to wake up.
So we had the guy that was walking on the mountain. We had the guy at the house. We had this guy, and we had the guy in the shadow. We've had 4 ghosts so far. And this guy, we're not going to be able to see him once we get down this little hill, because this mountain right in front of us is blocking our view. And we can't jump. So watch. Oh, he's still there. He goes away. I think it's this one, yeah. He's completely, like, out of our view and out of our mind, right? You think.
I've begun my voyage in a paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it. I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fiber, the pulped vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and carves parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together.
He's gone. Now I'm like looking for like shadowy figures everywhere. I'm like, I know y'all motherfuckers out here. Y'all out here. Y'all be shadow figures. Okay. I can't read the writing. And as he was proceeding on his journey. Proceeding? Is that how you spell proceeding? Ding. On his journey. Okay, I could read that one, but like I couldn't. The one that was in the cave, I couldn't read. Sorry for lying. And Andy? And he was
If only Donnelly had experienced this, he would
3
have realized he was
days.
his own shoreline, as am I. Just as I am becoming this island, so he became his syphilis, retreating into the burning
Without-
synapses, the stones, the infection.
I couldn't read that last one. It was dark. It's dark. I'm getting close to the
The
end.
stones in my stomach will weigh me down and ensure my descent is true and straight. I will break through the fog of these godforsaken pills and achieve clarity. All my functions are clogged, all my veins are choked. If my leg doesn't rot off before I reach the summit, it will be a miracle. There are 21 connections in the circuit diagram of the anti-lock brakes. There are 21 species of gull inhabiting these islands. It is 21 miles between the Sandford Junction and the turn-off for home. All these things cannot, will not be a coincidence.
A part of me is telling me to move my microwave because I don't know if there's gonna be a jump scare. I'm still a ways away. I'm getting closer though.
He was not drunk, Esther. He was not drunk at all. He had not drunk with Donnelly or Spat Jacobson back at the sea. He had not careered across the lost shores and terminal beaches of this nascent archipelago. He did not intend his bonnet to be crumpled like a spent tissue by the impact. His windscreen was not star-studded all over like a map of the heavens. His paintwork etched with circuit diagrams, strange fish to call the gulls away. The phosphorescence of the skid marks lighting the M5 all the way from Exeter to Damascus.
Oh, his face is gonna be here. I mean, they can't do anything, right? No reason to be scared if they can't touch. This is intense. He's gonna be at the corner. I like don't even want to look, but I know I have to for the stream.
We will leave twin vapor
Oh, he's not
trails in the
there.
air. White lines etched into these rocks.
He's not there. Oh, I can't get up.
Dear Esther, I have burned the cliffs of Damascus.
Okay, he's
I've
taking
drunk
control now.
deep of it. My heart is my leg, and a black line etched on the paper all along this boat without a bottom. You are all the world like a nest to me. Eggs unbroken form like fossils, come together, send small black flowers to the air. From this infection, hope. From this island, flight. From this grief, love.
Could you imagine, like, just living here without the creepy ghosts and stuff, but like just owning this entire land to walk through and travel and venture? Like, it's really pretty. Goals, except without the death and the cave diving, because like that's how he died. Broke his leg. I love how it gives an overview of everything. Look at these boats. That damn bird that scared us. Weird the bird. Wow.
Come back.
So guys, that was Dear Esther, the Landmark Edition. And we finished at 48 minutes. Like, a little under an hour, you know? Almost there. It's pretty much an hour, you know? But that's that's insane. What am I trying to say? That's crazy. The game the first time, the story was absolutely different than this time. Wow. Like, I started off in a different spot. There was just different things that were around. The writing was definitely different for this game. I don't remember it being legible at all. Because the words didn't make sense when I played it the first time. But of course I didn't stream it the first time, so I should have. But playing it the second time around, I might come back to it and see what other stories it gives me. I'm not sure. It's an hour. It's 48 minutes apparently to an hour, you know, depending on which way you take. And I guess we didn't take that many routes because we finished it. But, you know, we found, 5 ghosts? And the last one wasn't even there. So I think they just show up when they want. Which is, you know, they're ghosts. They can do what they want. I'm not mad. Do you? But, yeah. I'm actually really glad that I didn't see his face, because I don't think I would want to do another one if I saw his face, just because apparently it's like super scary, but you know, they don't do anything, so of course. But other than you not having like press A, press X or stuff to like look and really look at stuff, that is it's kind of a bummer, because like I would like to be able to touch the boats and pick the boats up and read the notes that are on the boats, you know, what's on the outside and stuff. Putting in the boats back, of course. But yeah, well, guys, we did it. Dear Esther Landmark Edition. I super recommend if you were a kind of chill back person that is just looking for a chill game to play. Like, this is super intriguing to me. I played it the first time and I was super obsessed with it. The fact that the first time it took me 2 days just because I was like, what do I do? This is kind of boring. But then I kind of fell in love with it, because towards the end, it's like the storyline is what really drew me in to begin with. And doing it this time around, already knowing what to do and like what to kind of expect, the storyline, it was completely different. You know, I would recommend for you to buy, you know. It's a great game. Review. Gameplay, I would give it maybe like a 7 out of 10. 10 being the greatest, just because, you know, I would really like to get interacted with the games and stuff, you know. But so this is a pretty freaking great game though. Like, it's a real chill bag. Like, I woke up and I was like, I don't really want to play Minecraft or Fortnite or Sims. I just want a chill game. And I didn't waste an hour, but you know, like I got through an hour. It is now 1 o'clock. So now I can actually like do something else. It's a great game. 10 out of 10 would recommend though. But it's a solid 7, just for the fact that I wish I could like interact with the game more instead of just walking and or only having one speed to walk on. But other than that, like, the story is a 10. The graphics are a 10. I love like the ocean view. Yo, the candle with the guy standing in the candle, that was a 10. The one jump scare we had, the bird, 10. Okay, guys. Well, I'll be back later with some more gameplay, obviously. We'll probably be streaming Minecraft right now. That's really the only game that has been keeping me intrigued. Haven't really touched Fortnite too much. Let me know if you want to see Fortnite content. But I will see you all probably in an hour. Bye, guys.